got a bit of a sad story here. I want to tell you about alpha males and beta males. Okay. Now Rob here is an alpha male. He's young, handsome, good looking.
I want to be the alpha.
He's got lots of money. He's got so much money in his bank account. It's the kind of amount of money that snaps knicker elastic at 100 paces. Okay. I, on the other hand, am a beta male. Okay. It's the alpha male who always gets the girls. The beta male, unfortunately, like myself, doesn't get the girls. And actually, if you look to see what happens with beta males, they're not motivated to raise a family, they're not motivated to work hard, they're not motivated to earn money to pay taxes. And in fact, once you have a society full of beta males, you've got a problem. You've got places like Haiti. This is where matriarchy reigns, okay? These countries are so poor that once the cyclone or the tornado has finished hitting, you wouldn't recognize the difference in the country between before and after when the cyclone hits. Basically because the males in these countries are not motivated to provide for their families, okay? If you've got the beta males, it's like a whole load of men before they got married. Basically anything goes. They're not motivated to work hard. So what societies do about that is to try and even things out, to try and make sure that every man gets to raise a family. They invent marriage, okay? And they start saying, it's not fair if all the alpha males get all of the girls. We're going to try and arrange it so that these are shared around. And this has benefits for society because each man gets to raise his own children. Once each man is raising his own children, he's motivated to work hard, pay taxes, be a good citizen, not get involved in crime. So if we take a very recent example of this, there's a footballer. He got prosecuted and convicted for having sex with an underage girl, okay? I'm comfortable with that. I'm not a bleeding heart liberal, okay? If a guy does something wrong like that, that's fine, that's against the law. But what is so interesting to see is the way our legal service works, our criminal law. When women, particularly female teachers, abuse children, underage males, they have no criminal sanction against them.
They do. There were loads of women who went to jail.
They have no criminal sanction against them.
Jail.
Some.
Well, so some do have some criminal sanction. So some
at the moment, 100,000 men in jail. 100,000. There's only 20,000 women in jail. So at a rate of 20 to 1, you get men being sent to jail compared to women. Even when the woman commits the identical crime. 5,000, sorry. So even when the woman commits the identical crime, she doesn't do the same time. Okay? 20 to 1. And the reason is, no, it's not. I was at a seminar at the University College of London last week where the guy was going through the statistics on this. And the reason is, at every single level, from the sentencing to the decision to prosecute, no, absolutely wrong. False. This guy went through every single crime.
Just learn
this
something.
guy went through every single crime. Murder, driving crime, burglary, theft. He went through every single crime, and when the woman was convicted, she got less of a sentence, if at all.
Why?
20 to 1. Okay. The reason is why. Sir, you asked a good question. Why is that? Now, I really recommend you to...
Who is behind it?
Yeah, I really recommend... who is behind it? This is a great question. I recommend you to read the sentencing guidelines, the modern sentencing guidelines in the criminal justice system. I mean, when it is read out to you, it is laughable how sexist it is. At every point during the sentencing guidelines, if you're a woman, then that has to be taken into consideration. Bear in mind that if the person being convicted is a woman, it's much better if they serve their sentence in the community. Why? Why? That is in the sentencing guidelines for the judges. Completely sexist treatment. It's 20 to 1 where men get sent to jail compared to women. Why is it that a woman who commits tax fraud gets no sentence, whereas the man who does the same offence gets sent to jail? Why is it that if you do a motoring offence, men and women should be treated differently? If you're a dangerous driver, you should be convicted the same as a woman. If you're a man or a woman, it shouldn't make any difference. Now, the reason is, why is this? So this chap asked a great question. Why are men treated differently? And here's the interesting thing. Now we're getting private prisons, big, huge super prisons they're building, and these are being built by private companies. We have G4S, we have Serco. You probably haven't heard of Serco.
The United Kingdom is a private corporation.
You're completely right, sir. The United Kingdom is a private corporation, and the people who own these super prisons, for example, companies like Serco. Who runs Serco? Well, that's Soames, the Conservative minister, the Conservative MP. Soames, the grandson of Churchill, yeah, he owns Serco. Yeah, and they're ripping off the taxpayer. This government has sent 5 times more men to jail.
You're not really in favour of democracy.
I'm not a bleeding heart liberal, don't get me wrong, sir. What I just think is that women and men should be treated exactly the same. If they do the same offence,
We're superior, why should we bother?
but 20 to 1, it's the men who are sent to jail and the women are discounted for crimes.
Men tend to carry out more crime.
I would probably not. I mean, I'm not looking at the amount of
Most of
crime.
the criminals are in the city of London. That's the heartland of our
Well,
criminals.
that's true. I mean, all the bankers, they got away with it. All the MPs on their fraudulent expenses, they got away with it. You know, so the real criminals definitely are getting away with it. But we are just looking at where it's a like-for-like offence, like a driving offence, or tax fraud, or burglary, or murder, or whatever. When you have a woman that murders and a man that murders, they should get the same sanction, but they don't.
The whole judicial system is Freemasonic. They're all a bunch of scum.
Yeah.
Lawyers,
Yeah.
masons,
Yeah.
judges.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
white trash.
Yeah.
It's all like American.
Most of the judges, they went to Oxford or Cambridge University, and they're completely removed from the normal circumstances of the public. They are removing jury trials. They're starting to have like for example, if you're in the CSA, if you get embroiled with the Child Support Agency, you're just found guilty. There's no jury trial or anything. They're removing democracy, they're undermining our judicial system, our common law rights. We're going for big corporations now, super prisons.
Why and who is behind it? What is the purpose?
The people, the whole purpose about this, sir, is money. Okay? They just want to have the big corporations, big money, dividends, and that's what it's all about. It's about money. Jailing of men is big business.
Of course, crime is allowed in our country. It's called the police service. Now look, think of our language. Every policeman is lice. What do you do with lice? You throw them out your hair. And they all swear a fascist oath of allegiance to the Queen. They're hearing us now in their little cameras. There's some pig, as I call them, Freemasonic pig. Are you listening to me, Mr. Pig? No. London is a police state. Yeah. We should tell the police that we do not respect them. They serve the German Queen. Remember, every police officer serves the German Queen. So who won the war?
But don't forget about this oath. I mean, it's quite interesting. This guy's quite right. He said that you had to swear an oath to the Queen and to our common laws. And now that's been changed. That has been changed now. And the oath now is you swear an oath to the EU, to the EU flag, and these guys are even worse. I mean, they're the Bilderbergers, Did any of you hear
That's
about
Ken Clark.
the Bilderberg Ken Clark?
I met him a few
Bilderberg
years ago.
conference?
He is the
Yeah.
most accomplished conservative liar.
These guys
That's
come
why he
in
has to
big
save
limousines.
seats.
They come in big limousines, and they have this Bilderberger conference. They get guarded by police forces
correct.
from all over the country. I mean, if I get burgled, I can't call a policeman and say I'm being burgled
won't be interested.
because he's in London attending a Bilderberger conference.
God's angry with you. God's a feminist.
So thank you very much. I'm going to step down. Thanks.